Donald Trump has still, after all these years, failed to learn one of the most basic concepts of life, and that is that sometimes the best thing to say is nothing at all. But of course, Donald Trump can't help himself. He walks in and out of that New York courtroom every day, and he sees cameras, he sees reporters, he gets excited, and he goes up and he talks to them. And late last week, while talking to them, he accidentally admitted to one of the core charges against him in the hush money trial. Here's what happened. Donald Trump went up to reporters and wanted to read from an article by conservative Andrew McCarthy, who is a former prosecutor with the Southern District of New York, but he was writing in a conservative rag about how Donald Trump's non-disclosure agreement with Stormy Daniels and Michael Cohen was perfectly legal. Except the Manhattan DA's office, of course, is trying to make it illegal. Trump said repeatedly during his little impromptu press conference with reporters, quote, "I have the only illegal NDA." So Trump is saying the non-disclosure agreement that I have with Stormy Daniels and Michael Cohen was totally legal. The problem with that, folks, is that Trump and his lawyers have already maintained that he never had a non-disclosure agreement. You see how that screws him up there? Because you're admitting you have one after your lawyer even said in opening statements that you didn't. Oops, right? I bet you wish you could take that back right about now, huh? Here's what's going on. At the heart of this criminal trial is that non-disclosure agreement that up until that moment, Trump swore didn't exist. Now, the non-disclosure agreement includes Michael Cohen's $1 million clause. You know, he's going to get his money back too, or else he gets $1 million. So everything that Trump is accused of doing is in that NDA, but he swears he never signed it. And then he sees cameras and he sees lights and he sees reporters and other people. And he's like, oh boy, I have to say something. I can't just walk past them. How about I just admit to the very crimes that I'm in court for, right? I mean, I got nothing else to say. Oh my God. Like, case closed at this point. If there wasn't already a smoking gun in this case, which I do believe it was with Cohen corroborating David Pecker's story, but even if that didn't exist, Trump just handed prosecutors the still smoking gun and was like, well, I don't need this anymore. You admitted to the very thing your own lawyer said in opening statements didn't exist because you're trying to defend yourself in the court of public opinion. Oh, I have the only illegal NDA, he repeated 3 times after refusing to publicly admit for 8 years that he even had one. Shockingly stupid. You know, I've talked about the fact that I don't like that the media just hangs out outside the courtroom all day just to get any kind of soundbite that they can. But to be honest, they're doing just as good of work as the prosecutors are. Because any and everything that Donald Trump says, even to reporters, can then be used against him in court. And if Donald Trump does choose to take the stand in this case, you'd bet your ass that that question is going to be asked of him of why he told reporters that he had an NDA after maintaining for all of these years that he never had an NDA, right? If it was a legal non-disclosure agreement, wonderful, but you weren't a part of it. What does it matter? Why would you be talking about it? Yeah, Trump is his own worst enemy at this point. And if I were his lawyers, I would tell him he needs to start going out the back door of the courthouse because every time he opens his mouth, he makes their job almost impossible. Hey everybody, I don't know if you've noticed this, but we are closing in on a pretty major milestone here at Fair and Balanced as we approach 500,000 subscribers. But we're not there yet, and we definitely need your support. So if you're not already, please do subscribe to the channel, and don't forget, like and comment on the videos and share them as widely as possible.